Welcome to practice. Now we're going to begin kneeling today and having something to support your sit bones so that your knees are comfortable. Really important. And if kneeling hurts your knees, then just sit comfortably with your feet in front of you. So you can double over a blanket or make it into a roll. Some people probably have yoga blocks near their mat. Kneeling comfortably, and we'll elongate the spine, bring the hands onto your belly, and feel the breath. To give the ankles an even stretch, see if you can feel or find your feet to be parallel. So probably the toes want to turn in a little, just getting a nice even feeling in that through your ankles. Let's make a little pause at the end of the exhalation. Just a short amount of time, so there's no strain waiting for the next breath. But just a moment to dwell in. Good, and then find your natural breath rhythm. Put your hand down onto your lap now. And with your breath rhythm, take your right arm as you inhale overhead and behind you, and reach it down towards your feet or the floor behind you. And then the left arm as you inhale and exhale, and hands behind. And we're going to keep that arm movement going with the breath. Inhaling, right arm back behind you. Exhaling, centering for a moment. Inhaling, left arm by the left ear and then all the way behind. And then as you exhale, centering. And keep going. Inhaling, nice big reach with the right arm. And centering. Inhale, left arm. And the center. And one more. Nice work. Keep the hands behind. You can even try and press the palms down onto the soles of the feet or fingertips where they reach to. And feel the heart center of the body expanding with each breath. Good. And then releasing and releasing from your kneeling or sitting position. And we're going to come up to standing. Noticing how your joints are feeling. Sometimes after kneeling, if you're not used to practicing it for more than a very short time, you feel kind of stiff in your legs. knees. So let's work on our joints, feet and knees. Stand in your left leg and put your right ball of the foot on the floor. And we're going to make a circle with the knee, keeping the ball of the foot right on the floor. And you can really be playful. You can move your upper body however it needs to go, but trying to get as much movement around the ball of the foot as you can without lifting it off the floor. And go in the other direction. Nice work. Place that foot down up onto the ball of the left foot and draw your big circle with your knee forward and back, side to side. Let the body move where it needs to move to get as much movement across the ball of the foot as you can. In the other direction. Nice work. Stand into the left foot and pick up the right leg, and we'll draw a big circle with the toes pointed. So point the toes and draw a big circle with the point of your right big toe. Nice big circle. Start to lengthen the spine now. Feel support from the core of the body, relaxing the shoulder blades down. Good. And then the other direction. And of course, if you're quite wobbly on one leg this morning, you can always have a chair beside you. I might need that too. Standing into the right foot, pick up your left foot, point your toe. Great big circle. Easy balance for your spine. Feel that beautiful, strong core support. And the other direction. Feet underneath the hip. Nice. We're going to stand up onto the tiptoes. I'm going to bring my hands in front of the heart. Helps to remind me to draw the shoulder blades down. All right, we're wobbling about on our tiptoes and bend your knees. Keep your legs parallel. Lower your heel and straighten your legs. Good, up onto your tiptoes. Ooh. Good, bend your knees and straighten your legs. Tiptoes and bend your knees and straighten your legs. Nice work. Tiptoes, bend your knees. Lower your heels, straighten your legs. Okay. Feet, legs warming up a little. Let's take a forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Urdhva Uttanasana. Lifting your kneecap, your quadriceps, your sit bone, lifting forward. Finding the rhythm of your breath. And with each exhalation, see if you can straighten your legs a little more. Or just feel a little more at ease with that intense movement. Good, and then bend your knee and come up and take your arms. Nice. Tadasana. Great. We're going to take the arms out from the shoulders, palms up, and make those nice little circles. when you're making your circles, try to get your thumb to reach right into the back of the movement. So we're really trying to activate between the shoulder blades. Feel your legs powerfully supporting your spine. So lift the thighs, the front of the hips, and relax your neck and your throat. Good. We're going to take the arms behind now, interlock the fingers, and we're going to come into forward bend again. So Uttanasana, find your breath. That feeling of intense stretch in your legs. But aware of that quiet moment, however brief, at the end of the exhalation. Feel the renewal in the inhalation. Good, and then we're going to work with that calm attention on the breath and lift the arms, lift the knuckles, take the knuckles away from the ears. Let the head just hang down. Straighten your arms. Try to bring the heels of the hands together. Good. And then release your hands and roll up. And take the arms up. And feel the rib cage lift away from the pelvis. Good. And then take your arms back behind you and interlock your fingers the other way. Forward bend. Really finding your breath. The renewed vigor in the inhalation. And in the exhalation, that opportunity to be a little more at ease, for the spine to be a little more at ease. And then lift your arms, lift your hands. Reach the knuckles. The more you can reach the knuckles back, the longer the sides of the neck feel. Good, and then rolling up. And release your arms. Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing arms. And really lift the rib cage. And Tadasana. Beautiful. Now we're going to be stepping forward and back on the mat. So turn to the short front end of your mat. Have a chair handy if you know that helps your practice. Urdhva Hastasana. Really enjoy the lengthening in this mid part of the body. So between the hips and the ribs. Good. And then Uttanasana. Now we're going to bend the knees enough to put the hands on the floor and start to take steps back towards the back of the mat. Take as many as you can. So little tiny steps. And see if you can press your heels down to the floor. And then walk forward. Take as many steps as you can and enjoy padding your feet. It's recalling that feeling of using your feet as though they were hands. And then when you run out of room, roll up and come to the front of your mat. Arms up. Tadasana. Lift all your toes off the floor and wriggle them around. I always want to wriggle my fingers when I wriggle my toes. And then lay them back out straight. Good. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana, ribs lifting. And then Uttanasana. Good. And then again, feet taking steps towards the back of the mat. You might have to take some bigger steps at the front there where it's harder to fit. And then more steps towards the back. Trying to press your heels towards the floor. Good. Now to come forward, let's do something a little bit different. And tiny little light jumps. Feel the core of the body helping. Good. And when you run out of room, roll up. Walk to the front of your mat, Urdhva Hastasana and Tadasana. Good. So if you're having trouble reaching the floor for these movements, put the seat of the chair at the front of the mat and have your hands on the seat of the chair. Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Uttanasana. Finding your breath, taking a moment to dwell in those momentary pauses at the end of the exhalation to find calm and ease. Finding the vigor of the in-breath. Beautiful. All right. And let's take little steps again. Little steps to the back of the mat. Find downward facing dog pose. We're going to take a few breaths here. Stretch the fingers out wide. Fingertips press. Heels press down. Lift your kneecaps, your quadriceps, your sit bone. Letting your head hang down. Good. Now we're going to take the right knee towards the right wrist. Look forward. And then place that foot back into downward facing dog pose. And we're going to press the heels. Take a moment. Inhale. Exhale. Left knee to the left wrist. Look forward. And then place that foot back down. Take a breath. And keep going from side to side. We want to keep a calm approach to this movement. Give yourself a moment to find the pause at the end of the exhalation. Keep the fingertips pressing down. Good, and then we're going to take child's pose and give your hand a little rest. Squeeze your fingers into a soft fist and make circles. And then relax your hands, relax your shoulders. Feeling the vigor of the inhalation. That almost pause at the end of the exhalation. That moment of quiet. Beautiful. Arms forward into forward virasana. Enjoying the flow of breath in the back body here, lengthening and broadening. Elbows down onto the floor and walk your knees back a little. So we're going to try and take the knee, now the right knee towards the right elbow. And you can do it from knees on the floor, or you can tuck your toes under and have your knees just off the floor. So that's a stronger movement, but go for the knees on the floor if that's enough. All right, so same as we were doing before. Inhaling, right knee, right elbow. Back to your starting position. Take a breath. And then left knee, left elbow. Back to your starting position. Take a breath. Right knee, right elbow. Back to your starting position. Left knee, left elbow. Back to center. One more each side. Ah, and then child's pose. Hard work. Nevertheless, finding the ease of the breath, the vigor of the breath. Good. And we'll take the arms forward, forward Virasana. Downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pressing your heels, lifting the sit bones, finding your hands, fingerprints, base of the index fingers. Good. Let the head hang down. Shoulders wide. Good. Momentarily take your knees to the floor. Lift your hands off the floor. Step your right foot forward. So we're in a lunge position. Tuck your left toes back under and lift the left knee off the floor. Dropping the hips forward and lifting the breastbone, elongating, aiding the front torso. Giving the back leg as much of a stretch as you can, pressing the heel and stretching the front of the hip. Good. And then we'll release that knee to the floor. Hands off the floor. Step your right knee back. So you're kneeling up. It's an easier transition for the lunge. Bring the hands to the floor. Tuck your right toes under. Lift your right knee. Good. So finding your long lunge. Dropping the right hip towards the floor. Press your back heel. And lifting your breastbone, looking forward. Nice work. Gently, right knee to the floor, hands off the floor. Stepping your left leg back and downward facing dog pose. Good. We're going to do the same thing from the front of the mat. So let's do little hops, little jumps. Feet towards the front of the mat. Roll up. And when you run out of room, and come to the front. Tadasana. Inhale, Upahastasana. And as you exhale, Uttanasana. Good. So we're going to step the left foot back into that really long lunge position. But this time we're going to really hold the legs powerfully and feel the core of the body lifting. Good. And we're going to lift the torso and the arms up by the ears and drop the back knee towards the floor. So we're bending the back leg. Find that moment at the end of the exhalation before the renewal of the next breath. Beautiful. Hands back to the front of the mat. Let's step forward, lift up and balance on the right foot. While we're here. So the left leg comes in front. You might have your tiptoes at the floor, your hands at the heart, or holding your knee or your foot. Finding your breath. That moment of calm. Beautiful. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Thumbs up. Uttanasana. Big step back, right foot for that long lunge. Good. Powerfully holding your legs, the core of the body, as you lift your torso, arms up by the ears, and bend your back knee just a little towards the floor. So dropping the hips, draw the shoulder blades down, lifting the breastbone, and reaching the thumbs back. Small fingers up. Beautiful. Hands back onto the floor, the front or onto your chair. We're going to step forward, lift up and balance. Good. Might be tiptoes on the floor. Hands at the heart so the shoulder blades can reach down, or holding your knee or your foot. Finding your breath. Good work. Mountain pose. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. And Uttanasana. Left foot back, not a big distance this time. Press your back heel down onto the floor. Bend your front leg so you can reach the torso further forward. Now we're going to try and balance here. So the arms are going to come off the floor, but if you're feeling wobbly, keep your hands down onto the floor. Otherwise, hands behind you, interlock your fingers and reach the knuckles back and lift the heart. Look forward. Good, and then we're going to try and straighten the front leg. Lift the arm. Reach the knuckles. And breathe. Beautiful. Keep your right hand on your sacrum and put your left hand back down on the floor or the seat of your chair inside the line of the right foot. We're going to turn the torso to the right side. Following the flow of your breath, try to bring your right shoulder over your left shoulder. Good. And then release that side. So you come back to center and you're going to lift up, release your hand. Bring the left foot in front. Take your balance forward. Good. And then releasing that side. Tadasana. Arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Right foot back, but so the heel can stay on the floor. Bend your front knee enough to really reach the torso forward, to lift the heart, to look forward. Back heel pressing down. Good. Now we want to hold the legs powerfully. You can keep your hands on the floor if you need to, or take your hands behind you, interlock your fingers, the other index finger on top. Reach the knuckles back behind you. Lift the heart, look forward. Straighten your front leg and lift the hand. Knuckles reaching back. Good work. Left hand stays on the sacrum, right hand on the floor on the inside of your left foot or on the seat of your chair with your right hand. And we want to turn our torso to the left side. Put your right hand under your shoulders so it gives you good support. Both legs, nice and straight and strong. Lifting the left shoulder. Good. Turn back to the front. We're going to step forward, lift up, and balance. Right foot steps in front. Taking your balance hold. Feeling the vigor of the inhalation. And that calm pause at the end of the exhalation. The lengthened spine. And releasing Tadasana. Good. Let's practice our squatting movements. Heels out a little bit wider than your hips. Toes out. We're going to squat down. Keep the heels on the floor. Lift the pelvic floor as you squat down. Good. Try to squeeze your buttock muscles towards each other. Press into the heels and lift up. And again. Squat down. Lift the pelvic floor. Squeeze the buttock muscles. Press the heels and lift up. And last one. I've got my hands at my heart. Easier to keep the shoulder blades down. Last one. Squat down. Keep the heels on the floor. Press the heels. Lift the pelvic floor. Squeeze the buttock muscles. Good. And here, we're going to lift right up onto the balls of the feet. Put your hands down on the floor in front of you. Lower your heels. Good. And if you're close to the floor to sit down from there. Otherwise, come up to standing and work out how to sit with ease. That last little bit. Let's work on that hip flexibility. All right, we're going to take the soles of the feet together. Now you can put your feet further out in front if that feels better in your knees. Or heels closer towards your body. All right, let's support under the knees with the hands and lift the spine, finding the breath. Press your knees down towards the floor and resist with your hand. And really try to give it as much power as you can. Good. And then we're going to release that work, calmly noticing where the body starts to release. Good. And then again, so support your hands under your knees so you can press down and resist, lifting the spine. Good, and then releasing. Hold on to your ankles or your feet. And we're going to rock a little from side to side. So from one sit bone to the other. So you might get your knee on the floor as you rock to that side. Just leaning your torso in that direction. As you go to rock to the opposite side, try to lead with the knee. So take the knee down first. So that knee goes down, you lean right. Left knee reaches down, you go left. Good, and then back to center, sitting tall. And in to the moment at the end of the exhalation. all that revitalization in the inhalation. Good. And then releasing your legs, and we'll lay down. And to relax the hips, we'll do bamboo pose. So take your blanket and put that underneath your. And the idea of this posture is really to be able to just balance the legs. So there's no work in the back or the core. And if you have trouble with that, it just feels like you're really straining to hold your legs up, put your feet on the floor. Good. Otherwise, you can just balance your legs. Elbows out from your shoulders, backs of the hand towards the floor. Noticing the flow of breath. Feel how the leg bones sit into the hip. The belly broadens. Good. And then releasing. Take your blanket out and a little twist now for the core. We're going to do this moving. So take your arms out from your shoulders and lift your feet off the floor. We want to be really tuned into the core of the body. So let's just bring the knees to the chest, press the lower back to the floor, and then take the knees a little way away from you. Knees to the chest, press the lower back, and then take the knees away from the chest. Good. So really aware of the core, but we're going to be going from side to side. Lift the hips, swing them to the left, and knees to the right, looking left. Lift the leg, lift the hips, swing them right, and knees go. Good. So feel the muscular support for the movement of the spine. Keep going from side to side. And coming back to center and hugging your knees into your chest. Rocking a little bit from side to side. If you have time for your own relaxation, take your legs out to straight. Namaste. And if, like me, you need to finish your food, gonna rock a little from side to side, massaging the sacrum. And then rolling to the right and coming up to sitting. Take a moment to tune into your breathing again. That quiet pause at the end of the exhalation. The vitality of each inhalation. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.